If you're a woman, you are 2 times more likely to get Alzheimer's than men. And this is because our brain ages differently than men's, largely due to hormonal changes that happen during perimenopause and menopause that really affect how our brain functions. I'll explain, but let me preface by saying we're not doomed. There's a lot you can do to slow down and prevent any signs of Alzheimer's or dementia happening in your lifetime. And we'll talk exactly about that. So if you're a woman in your 40s and up, I urge you to listen carefully. The series that I'm making on hormonal changes and brain are possibly the most important videos that I'll ever make, because not only that it will help you understand what you can do to prevent dementia and Alzheimer's, but it will help you elevate your mood, reduce your stress, and have a better life quality overall. In this video, I want to explain how our brain ages differently than men and why, what we experience, and then I want to cover some natural antidepressants and supplements and tools that you can utilize in your life to elevate your mood and reduce stress and help your brain stay healthy for a long time. And if we haven't met yet, hi, I'm Lex Vuko. I have been in health and fitness industry for over 20 years now. I've owned a fitness studio and I've helped hundreds of women feel great in their bodies. I've been overweight, I've been underweight, I've had thyroid issue, I had a hormonal imbalance, I've trained as an amateur bodybuilder, kickboxer, and boxer. I've done all the wrong things, I've done all the right things. And now I'm here to help share this information with you so that you can know what works for your body, how to recognize the signs, and how to feel great in your body and stay healthy. So let's get into today's topic, ladies. During peri and menopause, our brain is not the only thing that changes. There's a lot that gets affected in our bodies from our head to our toes, but there's not enough conversation about it. We need to know how things affect our body, how it affects our brain, so that we don't spend time thinking we are growing crazy while being dismissed by doctors or given an antidepressant. And I'm going to estimate that 80 to 90% of women who are on antidepressants do not need to be on one because they can change things in their lifestyle. But that's a story for another time. So if you're in your 40s or you know any woman that's in their 40s and up, pretty much, you've probably heard them complain about brain fog, losing memory, just not feeling right, or feel like they're going crazy. From mood swings to outbursts to irritability about anything and everything. These hormonal changes affect you, your family, your relationships, and your lifestyle, which is why, again, we need to know about this. As I mentioned earlier, our brain ages differently than men. And this is why we have 3 sex hormones: estrogen, testosterone, and progesterone. In perimenopause, our body is slowly starting to reduce these hormones, and then during menopause, it stops producing them altogether, and it happens kind of abruptly. Where men only have testosterone, it's pretty steady throughout the month, it slowly starts declining later on in their lives, and they hardly have any symptoms, if any at all. And I know it's not the greatest news and it's definitely not fair, but it is how it is. However, there's a lot of things you can do in your lifestyle and your environment to help your brain and your body function better so that you can be in a better mood, so that you can think better and therefore have a better quality of life. Things like your sleep quality, your nutrition, even hydration, your stress level, fasting, exercise and the type of exercise. All of these things play a role in your brain function. And I cannot cover it all in this one video, obviously, because we would be here for 3 days. Today, I want to talk about tools and supplements on how to improve your mood and lower your stress. Because let's face it, stress makes everything worse. And we live in a society where stress has been kind of normalized, and we need to denormalize it. If you want more information on intermittent fasting or time-restricted fasting, on how to do it as a woman, I have a whole playlist on my channel, so make sure to check that out after this video. Because there is a way for us to fast differently than men, in which we're not going to screw up our hormones, but rather help balance them and feel better. All right, let's start by talking about better mood and things you can do to elevate it. One of the reasons why our shift in hormones happens is as a natural consequence to all the things that we've been exposed to, such as plastic and pollution and sugar and so on. But even with that in place, I do want you to remember that your body always strives to feel healthy, to be healthy, and to feel good. This is why we have the immune system that protects us and makes sure that we are good to go. And if we don't feel right, if something is off, that's our body's way of communicating that something needs to change. So let's talk about some natural antidepressants and supplements that you can add so that not only your brain can work better, but your mood is elevated and you don't feel irritable all the time. And if you are on an antidepressants, please do your own research and talk to your healthcare provider to slowly start getting off of it while substituting with healthier options. All right, so number one, most effective antidepressant, the natural antidepressant, is exercise. And in an ideal world, every woman is lifting weights and gaining muscle. However, I know that's not reality, and you may be one of those that's like, ugh, I'm never gonna walk into a gym. Fine. Find something that works for you. Because if you do something, let's say yoga, and it really works well for you and you enjoy it, you are obviously more likely to continue doing it, and you're doing more better for your body than doing what's strictly found as even the most ultimate option. Now, yes, I always recommend weightlifting, especially as we are aging, 40s, 50s, 60s, and so on. But the first thing, if you're not exercising, is to find what works for you. The next best thing you can do for yourself is get out in the sun, directly in the sun. Don't be looking directly at the sun, but be in the sun without the UV shades, without any sunblocks. You want to do this ideally early in the morning or late in the afternoon. You don't want the sun burning your skin, obviously. But this is how we get natural vitamin D, which I'll get to in a minute as to why that's important. And the sun has that beautiful way of giving us a warm hug, just making us feel better. The next thing on the list has been shown to elevate depression is St. John's wort. It's an amazing supplement that you can take. However, a warning to be said about exposure to the sun. Please, if you're taking that supplement or plan on taking it, read the directions carefully and do your own research, because being out in the sun and taking St. John's wort don't really go hand in hand. So if you're someone who actually wants to be in the sun and you don't want to be thinking about this, there are a couple of other supplements that you can take. One of them is SAMe. That is a compound found naturally in our body. SAMe helps produce and regulate hormones and maintain cell membranes. Another one is 5-HTP. 5-HTP supplement in our body converts to serotonin, which makes us happier. And it's often used for depression. Now, I will quickly mention that the quality of your supplement matters. So where you get them from and who you get them from matters. I have over time used many different supplements, and I'll leave the link in the descriptions to the one that I have used and that I recommend. Another thing you can add to your nutrition would be saffron spice. Now, when you see the price of it, don't freak out. But I will give you a direct quote from PubMed here to show how effective saffron is. Saffron and its constituents have been reported to exert neuroprotective effects on various mechanisms such as modulating neurotransmitters, enhancing neurogenesis, reducing neuroinflammation, regulating oxidative stress, activating the nerve-2 signaling pathway, and modulating epigenetic factors. Those are big words to basically say it reduces inflammation around your brain, it enhances the production of new brain cells, it makes the communication between neurons more effective, and it basically protects your brain from damage. So let's talk about vitamin D next, which is again what you get directly from the sun. But if you're not getting enough in the sun, you don't have time, or you live somewhere where you just don't see the sun enough, it is important to up the vitamin D levels. Vitamin D is important for differentiating dopamine neurons. Dopamine is a feel-good hormone. Again, it helps develop neurons and release dopamine. It's also involved in regulating which genes to turn on and which off when it comes to brain function. So vitamin D is essential when it comes to brain function and also treating anxiety and depression. The next supplement I want to talk about is called MindLab Pro. It increases alertness. It improves memory. It increases the speed of thought. It increases motivation, and it makes you more productive. You can check the whole supplement list right here, and one of the things that you see on the list is B12. B12 is a key micronutrient that plays a huge role when it comes to brain function. It helps reduce brain chemicals that affect the mood and other brain functions, such as serotonin and dopamine, which again are neurotransmitters that help elevate the mood. It also helps to prevent and treat depression and anxiety. You can take it as a supplement with MindLab Pro. You can take it as B12 on its own. You can take B complex, you can take nutritional yeast. Just please always make sure you're getting a quality supplement. The next thing I want to talk about is omega-3s. Omega-3 fatty acids are found in things like salmon, sardines, mackerel, herring, lake trout, and albacore tuna. Now, because of a higher mercury level in fish, it is not recommended that you eat fish more than 1 to 2 times a week, which is why it's not a bad idea to supplement it with a high quality supplement so you can have it throughout the week as well. And here's why omega-3s are important. They interact with mood-related molecules in the brain and have anti-inflammatory properties that help relieve depression. Omega-3s are critical for the formation and maintenance of nerve cell membranes, which helps develop brain circuitry and speeds up the information processing. Omega-3s also help have a healthy blood flow in your brain. And if you don't have a healthy brain flow in any part of your body, that part of your body is not functioning well. The next thing I want to talk about is iron. It would be really great to check the levels of iron in your blood periodically because iron deficiency shows up as fatigue, low mood, anxiety, restlessness, palpitations, and headaches. And before we get into tools on reducing stress, I want to mention the importance of taking a high quality multivitamin. And if you're wondering why is it that we need so many supplements now, it's because nowadays we live completely differently than humans have throughout the whole evolution. We don't get out in the sun enough, we don't move enough, our stress level is extremely high, and the food that we eat comes out of soil that is already deprived in minerals and vitamins. The real soil that the earth has provided for us humans is already full of all the nutrients. So by the time someone is eating a tomato or an orange or a mango, they are extremely nutritious, which again, they're not nowadays. So let's talk about techniques that you can use to reduce stress. The first one that I want to talk about is something you already do anyway, which is breathing. When we're under stress or when our body is perceiving a stressful situation, our breath gets shallow. When we take deep, long breaths, we're telling our body it's safe, you can calm down. And the way you want to do it is you want to inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth nice and long. When you make that exhale longer, you're directing your body that it's okay, it's calm, you can chill out. You can take 5 to 6 deep breaths at any given time, and if it's not a habit yet to do so, I strongly urge you, grab your phone, it's next to you anyway, all the time, set a notification to remind you a few times a day to take deep breaths. The next thing that I want to mention that goes really well with deep breathing is meditation. Now, before you're like, oh my God, Lex, there's no way I can sit there and have no thoughts. Meditation is one of the most effective things when it comes to reducing stress. You can do it seated. You can do it with your eyes closed. You can do it with your eyes open. You can do a walking meditation. You can find a type of meditation that works for you. You can do a guided meditation. You can do a quiet meditation. You can put music on that helps you meditate. Find what works for you. But what happens during meditation is you slow down your brain waves, you slow down your thinking, and you actually start being aware of your thoughts more even throughout the day. So throughout the day, you go about your business and you're noticing you're thinking so much of bunch of things you don't want to be thinking about. That's the power of meditation. And I get it. You're thinking, I cannot sit there and not have any thoughts. That's the practice of meditation. The practice is to make you aware, oh, I'm thinking, I need to get back to present moment. Speaking of present moment, the next thing I want to mention is mindfulness. Mindfulness means being aware of all your senses. So if you're sitting and eating dinner, what does it smell like? What does every bite taste like? What is the texture like? And then paying attention, what do you see? What do you hear? Being present. If you're with your kids, being present, being in the moment rather than thinking about 1,000 things that need to be done. This is a practice that takes time. It also helps you focus so that when you're sitting down and working, you're not distracted. You actually get things done quicker. And one more thing I want to mention when it comes to reducing stress, which is another thing that most people feel resistance toward, including myself, is journaling. The reason why journaling is powerful is because you get it, all those thoughts out of your head, out on the paper. Another thing that journaling helps you do is see patterns. Oh, I didn't feel so great. Who was I around? What did I eat? How did I sleep? How was my environment? Oh, I've been feeling great. Who was I around? What did I eat? How did I sleep? How was my environment? It helps you start noticing these patterns so that you can implement more of the great things that work really well for you. Now, before you jump out there and start doing all these things at once, which is what diet cultures taught us to do, I want you to strategize. I want you to pick 1, 2, maybe 3 things from the list that we talked about today. Leave me a comment below. Let me hold you accountable. Tell me, what are you going to implement into your lifestyle? Put notifications on your phone, set reminders for yourself until it becomes a habit. And remember, something I teach everyone on my channel and all my clients is SCA, small, consistent action. Create an action step that you can implement into your lifestyle that you can do indefinitely. Because at first you have to create that habit. Once you have a habit, you can change the frequency, duration, or intensity. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. As I said, I will be sharing more and more information on women's health on this channel, and I want you along for the ride. The next video I'm making is the particular supplements that have been found effective for women in perimenopause and menopause. So you want to stick around for that one. But if you haven't watched my video on crazy symptoms women experience during perimenopause, make sure to click now and watch.